"What nail?" "About her being the woman in the taxi. You know, some fellers is like that. They'd a heap rather elope with a woman they're crazy about than stand up in a church and get married. They're sort of romantic." Barker was waxing loquacious. "You know, you must be right. Fact, if you were to put it up to me, I'd say there wasn't no doubt that Miss Gresham was the woman in the taxicab." "I had that idea," responded Carroll slowly. "But what I can't understand, Barker, and what you might help me figure out, is this: why should Miss Gresham kill Mr. Warren?" "Huh! Ask me something easy, will you? I never was good at riddles." Leverage marveled at the change in the two men. Apparently Carroll had swallowed hook, line and sinker. Of course, Leverage was pretty sure that he had not, but he was also sure that Barker thought he had. And Barker was volunteering information, plenty of it, that was absolutely valueless. For the first time he was forcing the conversational pace, and Carroll seemed serenely content to drag limply along. "Reckon she might have been jealous of him?" drawled Carroll. "Jealous? Maybe. I ain't saying she wasn't. Of course, she must have heard a good many things about him and other women. And when a woman gets downright jealous, there ain't much saying what she wouldn't do. Not that I'm saying Miss Gresham croaked him. I ain't saying nothin' positive. But if you're asking me who he'd most naturally elope with, why I'd say it was the girl he was engaged to marry. If he wasn't going to marry her, what did he ever get engaged to her for?" Carroll nodded. "Certainly sounds reasonable." He paused, and then: "Where were you about midnight last night?" "I was—" Barker's figure stiffened defensively, and his eyebrows drew down over the deep-set eyes. "I was just shooting some pool." "Shooting pool?" "Uh-huh." "Where?" "At Kelly's place." "Where is that?" The man hesitated, flushed, and then, somewhat sullenly: "On Cypress Street." "That's pretty close to the Union Station, isn't it?" "Not so close." "About how far away?" Again the momentary hesitation. "'Bout a half block." "And you were shooting pool there?" "Sure I was. I can prove it." Carroll grinned disengagingly. "You don't need to prove anything to me, Barker. And for goodness' sake, get the idea out of your head that I'm suspecting you of anything. I had to talk matters over with you. You knew more about the dead man than anyone else. But I couldn't think you had anything to do with it, could I? You're not a woman." Barker grinned sheepishly. "That's all right, Mr. Carroll. And as for me being a woman, well, you're sure a woman killed him, ain't you?" "As sure as anyone can be." "And now," Carroll rose, "I'm tremendously obliged for all the information you've given me. Any time you run across anything more that you think might prove of interest, look me up, will you?" "Sure, sure." Barker's tone was almost hearty. "You're a regular feller, Mr. Carroll, a regular feller." The two detectives departed. Carroll spoke to Cartwright as he passed. "Keep both eyes on that fellow Barker," he ordered curtly. "I'll send Reed up to team with you. Don't let him get away. Nab him if he tries it." Cartwright nodded briefly, and Carroll and Leverage climbed into the former's car. As they rounded the corner, Leverage turned wide eyes upon his professional associate. "Carroll?" "Yes?" "You beat the Dutch." "How so?" "You didn't swallow that bird's yarn, did you?" "Of course not," answered Carroll calmly. "I didn't think so. But you had me worried with that innocent look of yours. Me, if I was wantin' to play safe on this case, I'd arrest William Barker pronto." "Why?" "Because," snapped Leverage positively, "I think he was mixed up in Warren's murder." "Ah!" Carroll refused to become excited. "You do?" "Yes, I do. What do you think?" "I think this," answered Carroll. "I think that Mr. William Barker knows a great deal more about the case than he has told." Chapter 9.